Imagine this. You open your inbox, and there it is, an email that looks, well, entirely legitimate. Maybe it's from your bank or a shipping company or, even your boss. It asks you to click a link, update some details, or verify an account. Seems routine, right? But that one click, that single piece of information you share, could be the key to financial disaster, identity theft, or even a major breach for your organization. Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to becoming truly well-informed without feeling overwhelmed. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the shadowy, ever-evolving world of online deception. We're zeroing in on two of the most insidious tactics, phishing and spoofing. Our mission is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from a comprehensive set of sources, including some really insightful excerpts from a cybersecurity document titled Cybersecurity and Darker Objectives, Part 3, Scams, Spoofing and Phishing. We're going to unpack surprising facts, show you how these scams really work, and arm you with practical knowledge to protect yourself in this, well, increasingly digital landscape. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is phishing at its core?
Well, fundamentally, phishing is a fraudulent attempt. It's designed to deceive individuals into revealing sensitive information. We're talking passwords, account numbers, social security, or national ID numbers, that kind of thing. And these scams, they almost always appear to come from sources you'd inherently trust. Your bank, a government agency, a well-known company, maybe even a colleague. But the key is they're not. They're criminals.
Right, so the goal is purely deception for theft.
Exactly. The overarching goal is simple. Trick you into handing over data. Data that lets them open new accounts, invade your existing ones, or just steal your money. A common tactic. Creating fake links. Subtle misspellings like paypay1.com instead of paypal.com, or using tricky subdomains that fool your eye. And what's interesting here is that phishing frequently uses spoofing techniques.
Oh, okay, so spoofing is part of the phisher's toolkit.
Precisely. Spoofing is where a sender disguises an email address, a name, phone number, or website URL to look trusted. It's all about creating that illusion of legitimacy. And to protect yourself, the fundamental rule is crystal clear. Never, ever respond to unsolicited requests for personal or financial info without independently verifying them first.
And are these getting worse?
Definitely. We've seen bank impersonation become the most reported text message scam recently. And the sophistication, it's just soaring, especially with AI now in the mix.
That level of deception sounds incredibly sophisticated. So it's not just a single email then. Is it more like a carefully orchestrated play? Multiple steps?
Absolutely. Think of it exactly like that, a multi-act play. Each stage is meticulously planned. Act 1 is always the lure. This is where the attacker decides on the target. Could be random people, casting a wide net. Or it might be specific groups or even high-value targets like CEOs or CFOs. That's what we call whaling attacks.
Okay, so they pick their target,
Yeah.
then what?
Then they gather information. They use social media, public records, maybe data breaches, anything to collect personal details. This makes the scam incredibly convincing. Imagine them researching employee names, looking up project invoices to craft an email for a spear phishing attempt that feels undeniably real.
Wow, that's creepy.
It is. And they'll reach out through various channels, email, of course, but also text messages, that's smishing phone calls, which is vishing, or even direct messages on social media. Once they have their target and the info, the next critical step is crafting the perfect bait. This brings us to the disguise.
The disguise, so making a message look real.
Exactly. Creating the communication, email, text, call, so it appears to be from that trusted source. The design is crucial. It needs to create urgency or maybe fear or offer some enticing reward to push you into acting immediately, without thinking.
Like what kind of message?
Think of an email claiming your password is about to expire, directing you to a fake website to renew it. Or they'll impersonate a bank. Use subject lines that scream, "Your account has been compromised," or "You've won a prize." It plays on emotion.
So they've got the disguise down, they've set the hook. What's the next step in this whole operation?
The next phase is the call to action. This is the actual delivery. The phishing communication arrives. Email is still dominant. Yeah, something like 96% of attacks.
That's what the source said, a staggering number.
It is. But we're seeing more via SMS and phone calls, too. There's even callback phishing.
Callback phishing, how does that work?
An email instructs you to call a provided phone number to resolve some made-up issue. It leverages the perceived safety of a phone call. But the message itself, regardless of channel, will always include a link to a fake website, or it might just ask for sensitive information directly.
Okay, so the message is delivered. Then comes the dangerous part for the victim.
Right. Then we have the trap. This is where you, the target, interact. You click the link or you make that call. The attacker's sole goal here is to maintain the illusion, keep up the act, guide you to disclose your sensitive information.
How do they do that? Keep the illusion going.
Well, it could be filling out a form on a fake website that looks exactly like the real one, or downloading malware disguised as a document, or even unknowingly granting them remote access to your computer. That perceived professionalism, maybe a calm voice on the phone, combined with our human tendency to trust, it just lowers our guard.
And once you type in that password or account number,
They harvest it. Instantly, the trap snaps shut.
and once they have that information, what happens then? What's the end game?
That leads us to the exploitation. Once they have your data, they move fast.
Yeah.
Financial theft, identity theft, gaining unauthorized access. If you entered banking credentials on that fake site, they'll use those to log into your actual bank account and drain it. Simple as that.
Horrifying.
And in more sophisticated attacks, this stolen info is just a stepping stone. They use it to launch further attacks within a larger organization. That's called an advanced persistent threat, or APT. Ultimately, it can lead to full account takeover, and often that stolen info gets sold on the dark web, which just compounds the problem for the victim.
So there's fallout even after the initial theft.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the final stage, the aftermath. Attackers work to cover their tracks. They delete logs, use encryption, route traffic through multiple servers to hide their origin. Sometimes they'll keep monitoring victims for more information or to maintain long-term access. And for the victims, the consequences are severe. Significant financial loss, the nightmare of identity theft, and for businesses, really serious reputational damage.
Wow. So it's a full-fledged criminal enterprise from start to finish. And what's truly alarming is how these criminals are constantly innovating. It's not just those generic emails anymore, is it? The scammers are getting incredibly specific.
You're absolutely right. What's fascinating, in a grim way, is how they tailor their approach. Different targets, different platforms. Each type has its own signature, making detection a constantly moving target. While mass email phishing is still common, the broad net they cast, aiming for volume, the real danger often lies in those precision-guided strikes.
Like what?
That's where spear phishing comes in. Unlike the mass emails, these attacks are highly targeted. Specific individuals, specific organizations, they use personal information the attacker has gathered, your name, your job title, maybe a project you're working on, to make the email uncannily convincing.
So it feels personal, urgent.
Precisely. It feels real. And that's the trap. For prevention here, robust multi-factor authentication, MFA, and regular, really interactive security awareness training are critical, not just ticking a box.
And you mentioned whaling earlier. What's that?
Right, whaling. Think of it as spear phishing for the big fish, CEOs, CFOs, other top executives. These attacks are extremely personalized, often leveraging deep research into the individual and their company.
Can you give an example?
Sure. An email might claim urgent legal consequences for the company, urging the executive to click a link to review sensitive documents. That link, of course, leads to a malicious site designed to steal credentials or install malware. For whaling, executive-specific training and really strict internal protocols are essential, like always verifying sensitive requests through a completely separate channel, a phone call to a known number, maybe in person.
So it's definitely not just about email anymore then. Are they hitting us on other channels too?
Oh, absolutely. Phishing has definitely spread beyond email. We're seeing it constantly on text now. That's smishing, SMS phishing, fraudulent text messages, often containing links to malicious sites or prompting you to call a number to give up personal info.
Like those "you've won a prize" texts.
Exactly like those. Or fake delivery notifications. The link goes to a phishing site mimicking a legitimate company. The key is extreme caution with unsolicited texts, especially if they have links or urgent requests. Always verify through official channels, never by clicking the link in the text itself.
Okay, so texts are smishing. What about phone calls?
That's vishing, or voice phishing, using phone calls to trick victims. Attackers might use voice-changing software or spoof caller IDs to look legit.
Like the tech support scams.
That's a classic example. They call claiming your computer has malware, then ask for credit card details or remote access for a fee to fix it. The rule of thumb here is simple. Never give personal info over the phone unless you initiated the call and are absolutely certain who you're talking to. If in doubt, hang up. Call back using a number you looked up yourself from an official source.
Makes sense. Are there more technical types too?
Definitely. Attackers get quite clever. Clone phishing is particularly
Well,
insidious.
from phishing.
Yeah, they take a legitimate email you've previously received, maybe a shipping notification or a password reset confirmation, and create a nearly identical copy. But they replace the original links or attachments with malicious ones. Then they send it from a spoofed address that looks like the original sender.
So it looks familiar.
Yeah.
Trustworthy.
Exactly. It could mimic a password reset from Google or Microsoft, leading you to a fake login page. Always double-check the sender's actual email address, not just the display name. Hover over links to see the true destination before clicking. Then there's farming. This one's really stealthy. It redirects you to a fake website without you even clicking a bad link.
How does that even work?
It often happens by modifying DNS settings, either on your device or network, or by exploiting a website vulnerability. Essentially, it reroutes your internet traffic. So you type in your bank's correct web address, but you end up on a counterfeit site that looks identical. You log in, and boom, they have your credentials.
That's scary. How do you fight that?
Using reputable antivirus helps. Keeping your operating system and applications updated is crucial. And always check the URL in your browser's address bar, look for HTTPS and that little padlock icon. Make sure the address matches what you expect. And we can't forget social media. Angler phishing happens there.
Angler phishing. Like fishing for compliments.
Huh? Not quite. Attackers monitor social media, looking for people posting complaints or questions directed at company support accounts. Then they jump in, impersonating the company's support team, often via direct message. They'll offer to help if you just provide your login details or other sensitive info to resolve the issue.
Sneaky.
Very. So be extremely cautious of unsolicited social media messages asking for personal information, even if they seem helpful. Always verify the sender through official known channels first.
We've gone from broad emails to hyper-personalized attacks, texts, calls, even these technical tricks like farming and angler fishing. Given how adaptable these criminals are, what does this all mean for us now, especially with AI getting so much better? This raises a really important question about our future digital safety.
This is truly where the game changes. I mean, how do we protect ourselves when the attacks are automating deception, when they're becoming exponentially harder to detect? Cybercriminals in 2025 are heavily leveraging generative AI tools. We're seeing highly convincing, personalized attacks created at scale, deepfakes, sophisticated voice cloning, AI-generated phishing emails. They're almost indistinguishable from the real thing now.
There are stats backing this up.
Oh, yeah. The numbers are stark. Recent research. It indicates a staggering 67.4% of all phishing attacks in 2024 used some form of AI, and that trend is only accelerating into 2025. Scammers are openly using malicious large language models, LLMs, tools like WormGPT and FraudGPT.
WormGPT, FraudGPT, that sounds chilling.
It is. These tools are specifically designed to bypass the ethical safeguards built into legitimate AI platforms like ChatGPT, so criminals can use them to generate highly convincing phishing emails, malware, malicious code, pretty much without restriction.
So it's not just about generating better text then. What else are these AI tools enabling? This sounds like a whole new level.
It's far beyond just text. One of the most concerning developments is something called cloaking as a service.
Cloaking as a service?
Yeah. AI-powered services that shield malicious sites, phishing pages, fake stores, malware download sites from detection. They use sophisticated techniques, like analyzing browser fingerprints, basically, to figure out if the visitor is an automated security scanner or a real person.
And if it's a scanner?
They show harmless content, like a blank page or something generic. But if it's you, a potential victim, they show the malicious trap. This significantly extends the lifespan of these fraudulent sites, makes them much harder for security systems to find and block.
Wow. Okay. And the emails themselves?
AI-generated phishing emails have taken a massive leap in quality. Forget those emails riddled with obvious grammatical errors or awkward phrasing. Those still exist, but the AI ones. AI now generates emails that are nearly indistinguishable from legitimate messages. They're often personalized, using data scraped from social media, data breaches, you name it.
How personalized?
AI can analyze your online behavior, your purchase history, maybe even recent job changes, and then craft emails referencing those specific things. It dramatically increases the scam's believability and therefore its effectiveness.
And what about voice and video? Are deepfakes truly a major concern now in this context?
Absolutely. Voice cloning and vishing have become incredibly powerful tools for scammers. AI can clone a person's voice from just a short audio clip, seconds sometimes. This allows scammers to impersonate family members, colleagues, even executives with terrifying accuracy.
So you might get a call sounding exactly like your boss or a relative.
Exactly. We're seeing an increase in deepfake voice scams where victims receive calls from someone who sounds identical to a trusted individual, often claiming distress, needing urgent financial help. These are particularly effective in business environments. Scammers impersonating CEOs to trick finance employees into making urgent wire transfers.
And video.
It doesn't stop at voice. Deepfake videos and social engineering are increasingly being used. AI can create highly believable, completely fake video content. Real people saying things they never said, or entirely fabricated individuals in realistic scenarios. There was a notable case in 2024. A multinational firm tragically lost $25 million, all because of deepfake video and audio of executives convincing an employee to transfer the funds.
$25 million based on fake video and audio.
Yeah. It shows the very real, very costly impact this technology can have when misused.
That's truly alarming. So what does this all mean for us, the everyday internet users? How do we even begin to spot these anymore, and what's our defense when the attacks are getting this sophisticated?
It's a huge challenge. But knowledge is still power, especially when you apply it. Let's look at the actionable steps. When it comes to spotting a phishing attempt, especially these newer ones, there are still key indicators, even if they're getting subtler. One of the first red flags is often mismatched and misleading information. The sender's email address might look okay at first glance, but doesn't really match the company it claims to be from.
So checking the actual address, not just the display name.
Always. And hover over links or long press on mobile before clicking. Reveal the actual URL. Is it spelled correctly? Does it match the real company's domain? Look for those subtle misspellings like payp1 with a number 1. Also, be really wary of urgent or threatening language. Phrases like urgent action required, your account will be terminated. They're designed to make you panic and act fast.
Bypass critical thinking.
Exactly. And if an offer seems too good to be true, promises of attractive rewards, free money, amazing prizes, it almost certainly is a scam. Remember, legitimate organizations will never ask for confidential information like your national ID, full credit card number, or login credentials via an unsolicited email or text. Just won't happen.
What else should trigger suspicion?
Be cautious of unexpected emails like an invoice for something you didn't buy, or suspicious attachments, especially uncommon file types like .exe or .scr. And be particularly suspicious of unsolicited messages with shortened links like bit.ly links. They hide the true destination. You have no idea where it leads until you click, which could be too late.
So it's not just about the content of the message then, but also how it looks and behaves, the
Yes.
technical details.
Precisely. If a web page asks for login credentials, always check the URL in your browser's address bar. Does it match the legitimate website you expect to be on? Does it have HTTPS and the padlock? Look out for unusual or generic greetings like "Dear Valued Customer" instead of your name, although AI is getting better at personalization. Subject lines with unusual words or phrases, warning, free, weird punctuation can still be giveaways. And while AI improves writing, sometimes grammatical or spelling errors still slip through, especially in less sophisticated attacks. It's always worth a look. Check for different domains or mismatched links where the link text says one thing but the actual URL goes somewhere else. That mismatch between the email domain, like from a @gmail.com address claiming to be your bank, is a huge red flag.
So lots of little details to watch for.
Yes, and they often use that urgent or emotionally appealing language to push you. Be wary of first-time or infrequent senders, especially if your email system flags them as external. Beyond just spotting these for detection, you can actually use AI-powered tools yourself now. Things like Norton's Genie can analyze screenshots of suspicious messages and give you a quick assessment.
That's interesting. Using AI to fight AI.
Kind of, yeah. And always verify URLs and website security. Look for HTTPS, the padlock. If you suspect a message is phishing, it's critical to report it.
Where do you report it?
You can forward phishing emails to organizations like the Anti-Phishing Working Group. Their address is often reportphishing@apwg.org, or report it to the FTC via their website. Your report helps protect others.
That's a really comprehensive checklist. But if we boil it down, what's maybe the single most important principle for our listeners to take away from prevention, especially in this new AI-driven landscape?
If there's one principle, it's this. Adopt a mindset of zero trust for unsolicited digital contact. Assume everything is potentially a scam until you independently verify it.
Zero trust. Assume it's fake first.
Pretty much. Be skeptical of any unsolicited communications. Always, always verify the authenticity of requests. How? Contact the company or person directly using a known official phone number or email address, one you looked up yourself, never one provided in the suspicious message. Use strong, unique passwords for every single account. Don't reuse passwords, and absolutely enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, or multi-factor authentication, MFA, wherever possible. It's one of the best defenses.
Okay, strong passwords, 2FA. What else?
Keep your software up to date, your operating system, your web browser, security patches. Updates often fix vulnerabilities scammers exploit. Use reputable antivirus and anti-malware software and keep it updated too. And report suspicious activity promptly to authorities like the FTC or some CIS's reporting channels. And specifically thinking about these AI-powered scams, that zero trust becomes even more critical.
Hello.
Verify unexpected requests through a completely separate trusted channel. Even if the email seems perfect or the voice on the phone sounds exactly like your boss or family member, hang up, call them back on a known number, send a text to their real number, verify. Educate your employees and family members about the latest tactics, including voice cloning and deepfakes. Awareness is key. Organizations really need to monitor for anomalies using AI-powered cybersecurity tools that can spot unusual patterns. And personally, limit the amount of personal information you share publicly, especially on social media. Scammers feed this data into AI to personalize attacks.
So despite all our best defenses, what happens if, despite our vigilance, we still fall victim? Someone clicks the link, gives the info. What are the immediate steps then?
Okay, if you think you've fallen victim, act quickly. Time is critical. First, disconnect the compromised device from the internet immediately. Pull the network cable, turn off Wi-Fi. This can prevent further data transmission or malware spreading. Second, run a full system scan using reputable, updated antivirus software to detect and remove any threats. Third, and this is crucial, change passwords immediately for the affected account and any other accounts where you might have used the same or similar password. Enable MFA on everything you possibly can.
Change passwords, enable MFA.
Sure. Notify relevant authorities and institutions. Report the incident to the FTC. If work-related, notify your IT department. Contact your bank or credit card company immediately if financial information was compromised. They can monitor for fraud or freeze accounts. Finally, monitor for identity theft. Consider placing fraud alerts or security freezes on your credit reports with the major bureaus. You might also look into identity theft protection services, especially if sensitive info like your social security number was exposed. Early action can significantly mitigate the long-term damage.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more. The source material talks about spoofing alongside phishing, and honestly, it can get confusing. What's the core difference for our listener? Because it sounds like they're often intertwined.
Yeah, they are often intertwined, and that's why it gets confusing. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about understanding the nuances of deception online. While both rely on trickery and often work together, their direct objectives and their methods have some key distinctions. Maybe think of it like this. Spoofing is the disguise, and phishing is the crime that the disguise enables.
Okay, disguise versus crime. I like that. So what's the main difference in their goals?
The primary difference is the immediate goal. Spoofing aims simply to pose as a trusted source, to fool you into believing you're interacting with someone or something legitimate, maybe just to get you to open an email or answer a call. Phishing, on the other hand, explicitly aims to steal sensitive information or money. So spoofing creates the illusion, makes the sender look real, and then phishing exploits that illusion to get your data.
Got it. And the techniques they use?
In terms of attack technique, spoofing uses technical tricks to create fake sender identities, forging email headers so it looks like it came from PayPal.com, or spoofing a phone number so the caller ID looks familiar. Phishing involves the content, the fraudulent email message itself, or the fake website designed to capture information. So spoofing is the method of faking the sender ID, while phishing is the overall campaign to steal your data using that faked ID and deceptive content.
And does the user have to do anything differently?
That's another key difference, user interaction. Spoofing itself doesn't necessarily require you to do anything. The deception might just be in seeing the fake sender name or number, making you more likely to trust the next step. Phishing, by contrast, always requires user action. You have to click the malicious link, download the bad attachment, enter your password on the fake site, or give information over the phone.
Can you give a really clear example contrasting them?
Sure, an email that simply appears to come from PayPal.com in the From field, but if you inspect the headers, it's actually from a scammer server. That display is the spoofing. Now, if that same email contains a message saying, urgent, verify your PayPal account now, and includes a link to a fake PayPal login page. That whole package is the phishing attack, which uses spoofing as part of its disguise.
Ah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. The disguise versus the actual theft attempt.
Yeah.
So given those distinctions, what are their similarities then? Because they do seem to go hand in hand so often.
They absolutely do. Despite the differences, they're deeply interconnected and share significant similarities. Both are fundamentally cyber threats used by criminals to deceive people. Both ultimately aim to trick victims into revealing sensitive information, whether it's login credentials, financial details, or personal data. Both heavily involve impersonation, pretending to be someone or something they're not. And both rely on social engineering, creating that sense of urgency or fear or curiosity to manipulate you.
And they often use the same channels.
Yes, they frequently utilize email as a primary method. And as we just discussed, spoofed emails are very often a core component of phishing schemes. Both types of attacks may include malicious links and attachments, and critically, both can lead to significant financial losses for individuals and devastating reputational damage for businesses. They really are two sides of the same deceptive coin.
To bring this all home and really show the scale of these attacks, let's look at some real-world examples, because sometimes the numbers and the stories behind them speak volumes.
They certainly do, and these aren't just minor incidents. Beyond the impact on individuals, these attacks have crippled major organizations and even critical infrastructure. Consider the Facebook and Google case. This was between 2013 and 2015. A Lithuanian hacker orchestrated a massive business email compromise, or BEC, scam. He impersonated a legitimate hardware vendor they both use.
And they fell for it.
They did. It led to transfers totaling over $100 million. It was huge. Or look at Creelan Bank in Belgium, 2016. A CEO fraud attack, basically. Whaling initiated by a phishing email tricked them into transferring $75.8 million.
$75 million from one attack.
Yep. And the infamous Sony Pictures breach back in 2014. That started with spear phishing emails targeting employees. It led to over 100 terabytes of sensitive data being stolen, and the total cost to Sony was estimated at over $100 million when all was said and done. An Austrian aerospace manufacturer, FACC, lost $61 million in a BEC scam in 2016. That incident was so severe it actually led to their CEO and CFO being fired. So, real consequences for leadership, too.
These are staggering amounts, and it goes beyond just money, doesn't it? I recall reading something in the sources about critical infrastructure being impacted.
That's right. Phishing isn't just about financial theft. It can have far-reaching, even physical consequences. In December 2015, a sophisticated spear phishing email campaign targeted employees at Ukrainian power companies. Clicking on a malicious attachment eventually allowed attackers access to the industrial control systems, leading to a cyber attack that caused a widespread blackout affecting hundreds of thousands of people.
A blackout caused by a phishing email.
Yeah. It was a chilling reminder of how vulnerable critical infrastructure can be to these kinds of attacks. Now, not all stories end in total loss, thankfully. Mattel, the toy company, was scammed out of $3 million in 2015 through a whaling attack. But because they acted extremely quickly and got law enforcement and banks involved immediately, literally within hours, they managed to recover the funds just before a bank holiday weekend finalized the transfer.
So quick action can sometimes save the day.
It can make a huge difference. Similarly, Upshur Smith Laboratories, a pharma company, initially lost between $39 and $50 million in a 2014 BC attack, but they were able to recover a portion of it later. These cases highlight both the immense risk and the potential for mitigation with swift, decisive action. And if we look at the latest statistics for 2025, the scale is just mind-boggling.
Give us the highlights.
Yeah.
Or maybe the lowlights.
Well, over 1 million phishing attacks were observed in just the first quarter of 2025. That's the highest number recorded since late 2023. Globally, over 989,000 unique phishing attacks were detected in the last quarter of 2024. It's relentless, financially. These attacks caused U.S. organizations to suffer around $2.4 billion in losses recently. And the average wire transfer amount attempted in a business email compromise attack back in Q3 2022 was already $93,881 per attempt.
$93,000.
Average. And beyond the direct financial hit, that reputational damage is a huge concern, cited by 42% of surveyed companies as a major issue after an attack. The role of AI is definitely showing up in the stats now. 63% of cybersecurity leaders are concerned about deepfakes being used in attacks. 61% worry about AI chatbots drafting those super convincing phishing emails. And 52% are concerned about AI compromising supply chains.
And our defense is keeping up.
It's a constant battle. The stats show 91% of cyber attacks still begin with a phishing email. And maybe more worryingly, 29% of these malicious emails are bypassing traditional secure email gateways, those automated filters that are supposed to be the first line of defense.
So nearly a third get through the automated checks.
Yep. Shows how sophisticated they're becoming. In terms of who they impersonate, brand impersonation is huge. Yahoo is actually the most impersonated brand currently, followed by DHL, Microsoft, and Google. Trusted names. And finally, there's the human element. While regular security awareness training does help, 84% of U.S. organizations report it mitigates risks. There's still doubt. 91% of leaders apparently doubt the effectiveness of traditional training methods. And the proof. Only about 18.3% of simulated phishing emails sent during training are properly reported by users.
Only 18%. Wow.
Yeah, it shows the challenge is still very much about human awareness and behavior, even with all the tech defenses.
We've covered so much ground today. We dove into the really pervasive nature of phishing and spoofing. We broke down the detailed anatomy of how these scams actually work, step by step. And we explored the alarming rise of AI in making them just so much more sophisticated and harder to spot. We also discussed those essential detection and prevention strategies, along with, crucially, what to do if you unfortunately do fall victim. As we've seen throughout this deep dive, knowledge and constant vigilance are truly your strongest defenses in this ever-evolving digital landscape. Your digital life is so interwoven with communication now, and the lines between what's real and what's fake are blurring faster than ever before. So, maybe consider this as we wrap up. As AI continues to make it increasingly difficult, maybe eventually near impossible, to distinguish between what's real and what's fake online, how might our fundamental reliance on digital communication need to change? Could it push us toward the future demanding much greater skepticism, towards needing alternative, maybe even offline verification methods for almost all our important interactions? It really suggests a world where digital trust can no longer be the default setting. Something to think about.